chance kicking the offense is bad or what?
No, not at all. The offense has been going up and down the field on us right now.
Really?
I really love our quarterbacks, the way they're playing right now. Swoops and Hurd, I think those guys have the potential in what we're doing right now to have an outstanding year. I think they could be a 1-2 punch. The last few practices, the J has looked like the J we always wanted him to look like. So I'm excited for our offense right now. We have quite a few guys back. The offensive line now has depth, have competition. We have competition at quarterback. And what makes you a good football team is competition. When you look behind you and there's nobody behind you, you have a chance to get a little comfortable. Competition makes you uncomfortable. And that's what we have on the offense right now is competition. Defensively right now, we have a lot of guys, especially in the defensive line, that's out right now. We missing Caleb Blewett, Tank, Chris Nelson, Derek Roberson. So we have 4 defensive linemen. They hadn't gone through one day of spring practice. They give us some depth this spring. We're going to be a little bit young on defense. I think that losing 6 starters, we probably have lost 60 to 65% of our production, at least. And so you have a lot of guys that need to step up and do some good things for us, especially at the linebacker position. We lost 2 starters that have been starting anywhere from 2 to 3 years. So you have 2 untested guys, and Peter Jenkins and Tim Cole. And behind them, right now, you have a redshirt freshman who came here as a strong safety, Ed Freeman. So all of a sudden, he's thrust into a position where he has to play inside and give us some depth and competition. Malik started outside because of an injury to Dalton Santos. He's now playing a position he's never played, inside linebacker. So on second team right now, behind our first team guys who haven't played a lot, a freshman and redshirt freshman. So right now, those guys have come a long way in a short time. The best thing about tomorrow, we don't have to play tomorrow. It's just a scrimmage.
Is Malik the real deal?
I don't know what the real deal is just yet. When the season starts, we'll find out. Right now, he's a freshman just running around lost and confused like most freshmen run around lost and confused. He has a long way to go in a very short time. Again, he's playing inside backers because of injuries. I think he has a certain skill set and a lot of potential. And potential is a bad word that coaches don't like to use, and that's where he is right now. He's a potential football player.
Can you talk about what Jenkins and Tim Cole have shown you up to this point, and is one ahead of the other at middle, or how's that?
Well, right now, Peter and Tim, they started the Mike and the Will linebacker. They are starters at this time. And Pete played some for us last year. He played in 2 games, Kansas State and Arkansas, because of the offenses they run. Otherwise than that, he was primarily a special teams player. Tim Cole played just a little bit of special teams. Those 2 guys have not played a lot of ball, and right now they need to be the leaders of our defense, because we feel as a defensive staff, leadership starts in the middle of our linebackers. So those guys need to step up and do quite a few things for us. Getting ready for Notre Dame next year, those might be the 2 guys you see out there.
Tim at middle, Peter outside?
They both inside backers, so they're interchangeable on what we do.
You lose Big Mal, Wandre, Jordan Hicks, Sid Reed. I mean, there's so much leadership. Mikel Thompson. How much are you teaching now? And as far as the leadership developing, is that a natural process, or do you have to let that take its course?
It has to take its course. We're looking for leaders. Part of our job as coaches is to develop leaders. I look at Duke right now. Duke is taking a leadership role in the DB room. Last year he felt that with 2 seniors in Quandre and Mikel, that it was not his place to speak up or speak out. Now he's doing that. At linebackers right now, we're very young. You have a lot of guys play. You look at the defensive line. We have some experience, but you lost leadership there. Boyette played quite a bit, but he's a very quiet young man. Caleb Blewett has a potential to be a leader, but he's on the sideline. It's hard to lead on the sideline. So right now, from a leadership standpoint, we have a long way to go. But the best thing about it, we have some time. And it's coming. They work hard. They take coaching. So I see a lot of good things ahead for those young guys.
Coach says With so many offenses that you face or being spread and up tempo, does it help you to face that and practice every single day to get prepared for the season?
You know, a lot of people believe that. I'm on the fence with that. You know, it's, for me as a defensive coach, the game is about fundamentals and technique. To do fundamentals and technique, you slow things down, you teach them the little things, then you pick things up and you go fast. You know, right now, we went fast right off, so when you got a lot of young guys, they're always in the chase mode. They forget the fundamentals real fast. And that's the only thing about it. I think long-term wise, I think it's going to benefit us. You know, short-term wise, which is spring, you know, you don't get as excited about it. Because we have a lot of young guys out there and their heads are swimming because the offense is going 1,000 miles a minute. So as coaches, you know, you got to stay calm, and I'm the worst one for that. I'm not a calm guy whatsoever. You know, they look at me like, oh, coach is going crazy, which I walk in the door, I'm crazy, so you can't help yourself. You know, but, you know, that's just part of it. But it's going to benefit us down the line because, you know, we've been looking at opponents already, Notre Dame, Cal is a no-huddle. You know, Cal had to average somewhere around 40 points a game. Notre Dame is from spread to two-back set, you do it all. So what our offense is doing right now, we're getting us ready for those opponents.
I think it seems like you have a lot of expectations for John Bonnie. Can he be kind of a breakout guy this year in the defensive backfield?
With John Bonnie, redshirt freshman, has not played one snap right now. My expectations are he's going to be a freshman. So I'm going to have a freshman out there playing for us next year, and sometimes he's going to make freshman mistakes. But he's athletic, and I think his athleticism could help him out. And as the season goes on, he should get better and better each ball game. You know, he's a guy with a lot of upside, but he's not upside that hasn't played college football as of yet.
What is the state of the secondary right now?
Can I start singing the Star Spangled Banner? You know, right now we don't have a lot of depth. And some of you have already mentioned we have some talented freshmen coming in here. They're going to come in here and they're going to be on second team. Not because they deserve to be on second team, because of lack of depth. And that's just where we are at this time. You know, we had, I think, 33 seniors, you know, finish eligibility this year. So that's a lot of people leave this program. And we lost some key guys in the secondary. So we have to have some young guys come in and compete and get ready to go. And at the University of Texas, that's not what you really want sometimes. That's just where we are at this time.
But speaking of that group, though, Jason Hall is a guy that he's shown flashes of really bringing a lot of effort and helmet and tackle. Is he one of those guys?
You know what? That's a good question. I'm going on a different tangent just because I can up here. My wife and I, we look at the weather every night if I get home in time. Do you know the weather, man? We talk about the weather more in Austin, Texas than any place I've ever been. They say a cold front is coming in. It drops 2 degrees, that's a cold front. I look at my wife, she look at me and like, really? It's gonna rain, we're gonna have a flash flood. It rains 1/4 of an inch. So Jason Hall is like that flash flood that never happens. He's a freshman. He makes freshman mistakes. He does freshman things, and he flashes, just as you just said. So
basically, the Samaji tackle was one tackle out of the whole year.
That's a beautiful thing. You said it, not me.
Yeah.
That's how easy that is.
You talked about the defensive line, obviously all the injuries. Can you just talk about what you've seen out of Puna Ford so far, since he's likely getting some extra reps, and where you think he wins as a player?
You know, Puna last year, he played well for us as a true freshman. He really did. Right now, Puna Ford is one of our top 3 defensive linemen. Cottrell has had an outstanding spring. I mean, I'm really excited. I talked to him after practice yesterday. So you've had an outstanding spring. The only guy who doesn't believe that is you. You have a lot of upside. You can do a lot of things to help us this season. Just come out of your shell, start having some fun. Don't worry about the what ifs. You make a play, you show no excitement. He has a lot of upside right now. He's done well. Shiro Davis has had a solid spring for us. We've had some guys done a lot of good things. And with the guys that are injured, if they come back and give us anything, I think once again we could be pretty decent with the defensive line. If we're decent with the defensive line, you have a chance to be decent, with the defense.
So just to clarify, you said he's a top 3 guy on the defensive line. Do you mean in the interior defense?
In the interior defensive line.
And it goes Ridgeway, Tank.
Tank didn't go through practice now.
Oh, okay.
So the guys went through practice. But even if you go back to last season, Poona Ford was one of our better guys because he is a technician. You look at Poona, he walks out there and he looks like somebody should be back there cooking. He should be a chef. Just put a hat on Poona. And all of a sudden, he gets down there, he's a technician. He gets in a great stance. First step is good. We talk about shoot your hands, they're in the right spot. He does the little things right, and he understands football. What made Malcolm Brown a great football player is not just his athletic ability. He understood the game. Who was blocking him and why. If the back was offset to him, what was going to happen? If the back was set to him, what's going to happen? Poona Ford has that in him. He has that kind of ability. He's not as big as Malcolm, but as far as being a football player, understanding the game, he brings that to the table.
What about Shiro and what you've seen from him this spring?
Shiro was pretty solid for us. And the best thing about where we are right now, he and Bryce Cottrell play the same position. So that gives us a solid 2 deep. So I feel like when we get all those guys back and they play well, those guys, let's say you have 75 plays a game, well, I get 35 snaps out of each one of those guys, that's going to be a pretty good position for us this year. They're going to have to replace Big Sid. And if you get 2 guys who can do that for us at that position, we have a chance to be all right.
Coach, do you see the strong side defensive end last year between Nashawn Hughes and Caleb Brewer? It was virtually a 50-50 split in snaps. Could you see that happening at the strong side defensive end this year?
There's no doubt. Yeah, it is going to be. It's going to be just what you just said. It's going to be 50-50. We need both of them to play because right now, with all the spread teams and the pace of the game, you play 2 deep. And I think we won't miss anything. They're going to be the same. I think that Shiro was better against the run. Bryce was a great technician this spring. With pass rushing ability, he is very explosive. And he can kill us some things. Like I said, he just has to believe in himself and turn it loose. He'll be all right.
Coach, have you been able to sleep at night after a 6-7 season? And what has Vance Bedford been like this spring on this team?
Well, going to the first question is, did I sleep okay? Yes, I do. I learned a long time ago from my dad. When I first got into coaching, and I never had lost. State championship in high school. I came here my first year. We go 11-0, play for a national championship. As a player, I've never been on a losing team. My first year in Division I went 1-11. And believe it or not, I was brokenhearted after every game. My father would say, Vance, if you're going to stay in coaching, you're going to learn how to deal with it. You're not going to be happy about it, but you're going to learn how to deal with it. Otherwise, you need to get out of coaching. My father told me that. He told me that in 1987. I never forgotten that. So I've learned to, do I like losing? No. Do I have a knot in my stomach right now getting ready for this season? Yes, I do. But when I go home and I spend time with my wife, it's about her. So do I sleep well at nighttime? I don't have any problem sleeping at all. The only bad thing about it, I gave my cat to my in-laws because my cat would sit on my lap, could care less about how my day went. So right now, my wife is in the process of getting herself a dog. I am not happy about getting a dog because I'm not walking it and I'm not cleaning up after it. She has a job on her own.
Vance, with all players healthy, is the defensive line the strength of this team right now?
Defensive line is the strength of this team. There's no doubt about it. And I think, again, if those guys come back and they anywhere close to what they were before the injuries, that's going to be the strength of our defense. It's going to be up front. Because, again, we're young at linebacker, we're young in the secondary. So if you look at any great defense across this country, whether it's high school, college, or the National Football League, when you see a good defensive front, you're probably going to see a decent to a great defense. And we should be pretty good up front this season.
And sorry,
You don't like freshmen, I can tell.
No, I don't like freshmen. I never liked freshmen. When I was coaching the NFL, I didn't like rookies. It's brand new to them. They don't know anything.
So when people hear that Malik's running around not knowing what he's doing, that's just typical of a newcomer?
That's typical of a newcomer. That's all freshmen like that. People will say, well, here's a guy who, whoever ranked him was the number one rated outside linebacker in the country. He's a 4-star guy. He went to the opening, had all these great numbers. All that's great. Still a freshman. He's a freshman who should be going to his prom this weekend. That's here at the University of Texas, going through spring practice, doing something totally new to him that he's never done before. So that's normal. Anywhere across this country, you talk to any coach, they'll tell you he's a freshman. What do you expect for a freshman? He has to learn the speed of the game. The speed of the game in high school and college is like night and day. They're bigger, they're faster, and they're stronger. So he has to get used to the size, the speed, and their strength. And that's what he's getting used to. All of a sudden, he has a guy that's 325 pounds coming at him. How many times in high school he had a guy 325 pounds come at him and ran 5 flat? Probably never did. So he's getting used to that. All of a sudden, his running backs that 230 pounds that could run 4.55. He didn't see very much of that in high school. So now it's totally different for him. He has guys that can run away from him in high school. Nobody can run away from the league. So he's adjusting to the speed of the game. And I think long-term wise, we're going to all be happy with him. In the short term, he's a freshman. I'm excited what he's done so far this spring, but he's nowhere near what he needs to be to go out and say we're going to win a football game right now.
How many freshmen are going to be in your 2D in September?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. It could be anywhere from 4 to 6.
That's scary.
Yes, it is. Very scary. But I'm still going to sleep at nighttime.
Vance, with the offensive guys going to this spread offense, how much does it affect your thinking or your preparation that, the downside of the spread is, they could go 3 and out like that?
I know they're not either. Who told you that story?
I watched Baylor. It's possible to go 3 and out fast.
Well, it's 2 ways to look at the spread. And a lot of people say, well, I've been on the coach, I want to get 100 plays. We have a head coach, he talks about team, talking about team concept. Urban Meyer just won a national championship in the spread. He's not a hurry-up team. When you look at the national championship game, he had more plays per game than Oregon did, who's in a hurry-up offense. Because he's an old-fashioned Big Ten guy, ground chuck. I want to be in 3rd down and 3 where I can run it and throw it. And I'm hoping that our offense right now with the head coach that we have and Coach Strong, we want to be in a lot of 3rd down and 3s. So now you have the option to run it or throw it. Now that makes your offense unpredictable and very productive, and it could be very successful. So it's a lot of ways to look at it. You're in a hurry-up offense to get 100 plays, or you're in a tempo offense to keep a defense off balance so your offense can have success, so you can simplify the defense. So now you know where they are, you know how to block them. And I think we're going to be more of the tempo type offense.
So is spread too generic of a term for what it is?
There's so many different versions. Our offense did a lot of studies, and so did we as defense. If you look at the Pac-10, and you look at Arizona, you look at Oregon, or you look at Arizona State, every time they run a play outside, they have a route on. If you go to the SEC or the ACC who run a spread, you might see a bubble. You look at Urban Meyer, when they run the football, his receiver's blocking. So when a ball carrier breaks, they go in the distance because they blocking the DBs down the football field. So there are a lot of different versions of it, from Auburn, who is, in my estimation, I say is wing tee football. They went back to the old ways. They spread you out, but it's wing tee football. Urban Meyer is a version of a little bit of wing tee football. Powers, counters, misdirection. You look at the Pac-10, it's a zone read play, and I call it pop pass. You run in slants, you run in bubbles. So it's a variety of them. And our offense is going to be a little bit of all of them, but with our coach's personality on it.
Vance, what do you
Let's
say
got
to,
time for one last one.
these freshmen that are coming, I'm sure you'll have some of them in the house on Saturday. What do you say to guys like Holden or Chris, or guys that maybe you want to use this fall to get them ready, or you just kind of wait until mid-August and see where they're at?
Well, I've already spoken to those guys about this. You come in and be ready to go. We're not coming in here for you to say you're a freshman. You should come in here and say, I'm coming here to take your job. That's the approach we want for those guys. On paper, and it's just paper, they're very talented young people. That's just paper. So from what we've seen, Toe Holton and Chris Boyd, Deshaun Elliott, P.J. Locke, Devontae Davis, Anthony Willer, you're not coming here to be on the bench. We didn't come in here to redshirt you. We bring you in here right now to give us competition, and if you're good enough to get out there and play. If you're good enough to get out there and play, that means you're good enough to help us win. So that's the attitude we want. If we don't have that kind of attitude, we have just recruited the wrong type of people to the University of Texas.
What do you like about Ed Freeman?
Ed's had a good spring. Ed don't know what he's doing 40% of the time, but you know what Ed can do? He can run and hit. My man can run. The other day, we run an option, offense running an option. Ed is in head up on the quarterback. He outruns a tackle, makes a tackle for a 2-yard loss. I mean, he is a space player. He is perfect for this style of offense in this conference. And once he figures out what to do and where his help is, he has a bright upside. But right now, he has a long way to go. Because every time you look around, sometimes he's in the wrong gap at the wrong time. All of a sudden, the ball just broke for about 25 yards. That's Ed. You know, it's like flipping a coin. Ed, that's my name, or is it a hamburger? I don't know, Ed. You hamburger today, you Ed today, you bird dog tomorrow. So he got all kind of names. It's not that nice either. Every once in a while, I have a little French going.
How's Brick fit in?
It's gotta be the last one.
Oh, Brick, I say Brick is great for the staff. I think all of our players like Brick. He has a personality. He's always joking with the guys, easy going. I mean, he's a good fit. You know, anytime, I've always said this, whenever you lose a coach off a staff, the guy you replace, long-term wise, if he's not better than the guy that's left, then he's probably not good enough. Because whenever you lose guys, you look at any coaching staff across this country, whenever you lose guys, the guy come in can't be equal. He needs to be better. He needs to be a better recruiter. He needs to be a better coach. Otherwise, you took a step back. That's just my observation watching staffs over the years.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it, guys. You guys have a great day.